Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Drunken Dungeons. Myself and JT are here, trying not to get too drunk. One kind of piece. We're going to finish off the Alderweg series with UK3, isn't it? That we're doing?
Yep, that's her. And it's almost dry January. It's still in January, so we're only going to have one beer because we're fully supportive of people who don't drink in January.
It's 11:20 here, so in 40 minutes I can drink.
One beer.
One beer. No, actually. All right, so look what I'm going to drink tonight. Let's just get this off because I want to open this up and pour it out in front of me and see what it looks like. It's by Funky Fluid. It's called... it smells like it as well. Dude, this is fucking... I'm going to go buy more of these. Oh man, I wish I had this when I was a kid going to school. It'd definitely be in the lunchbox. Or you can taste everything in it. Passion fruit and the peach. Not so much the mango now, but passion fruit and the peach. Whoa. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely need another few of these.
You know, you're actually sending it to me right up until the word sour is mentioned, and I go, ugh.
No, it's not sour in the least, Jay. It's not sour in the least.
Every time I hear that word, that's what you're going to get.
I leave it out then. I leave out. It's an ice cream beer.
It's a 99 in a can.
99 in a can with a flake on it.
I'd love that, man.
What are you drinking there anyway?
I am going for something rather special, seeing as we're doing almost dry January. I've been saving this little puppy up for a while. So it's Fuller's 2019 Vintage Ale.
Cool.
These lads are limited edition, and they are bottle conditioned.
What does that
so
mean
anybody
now?
who's into it is. So it's
just left in the bottle.
Oh, no, right. They actually, so secondary fermentation happens in the bottle.
Ah, grand, cool.
So anybody who's into the rails would be well known of Fuller's. They've been around since 1845, I think it is. So they're well established, and apparently the brewery is right on the Thames. So
cool.
It is coming in at a punchy 8.5%. So the problem I have with beers like that, especially ales, is you get that over caramel nose on it.
Not a fan of it, no.
It sort of comes across as more of a barley wine than an ale when there's too much in it, in my mind, like, you know.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of barley wine at all.
No, this one's not too bad. But yeah, barley wine and me wouldn't be friends after I drank way too much of it one night.
I've had one or two barley wine mixes.
Can't really blame the barley wine for my greedery, can
I? No, you can't. You can't. Just yourself, Jay. Just yourself. All right, let's get stuck into this extended review or in-depth review. I don't know even if you call these reviews. We're basically just doing a rundown. Just to warn everybody, there's plenty of spoilers in these things, okay? Plenty of spoilers.
Wait, what?
What?
I haven't played this one before.
I
can't ruin it on me.
Don't know if I have. I'm having flashbacks, but it's only after I've read it, you know, so maybe I have and I haven't.
Did you have flashbacks of you reading it before or actually playing it?
And I wasn't drunk. Could be telling myself stories anyway. So basically you're continuing on after UK2.
Yeah.
The Sentinel. So the Sentinel will have asked you then to track down the Gauntlet, which it knows is out there, senses that it's out there. So you'll be making your way towards the keep up in the pass, like, or up in the Adler. You'll be making your way to the keep up in the Adlerweg Pass. I can't pronounce that word at all.
Oh, you're doing a better job of it than me, man. It's not made for an Irish tongue. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, so yeah, you'll be making your way to the Adlerweg Pass. And on your way there, you're going to pass a small town called Genoa. It's going to be in ruins and it's going to be burnt up from some gnoll attacks. Some bands of gnolls have kind of joined together from the mountains up there and have been down attacking the place, as usually happens. And as you get into this place, you can kind of tell that this has happened about 12 hours ago or thereabouts. But as you're making your way around, you can hear some whining and some whelping, and you come across a gnoll who is he's busted up. I think he's just lying there with some missing bits or chopped up to bits or whatever he is. And this guy can give you a bit of information on what's actually happening around the area. You know, you need to play it a bit nice, like. Kind of forces a bit of role playing in here, especially trying to communicate. You know, it's your first time kind of going to communicate with a creature and not a person. You know, can you communicate? You know, is this guy going to be able to understand you? Whatever. So yeah, this guy will give you a number of rumors, stuff that he knows. You know, he knows that the gnolls around the area are joining together. He also tells you that there's a bunch of trolls that have taken over Adlerweg, the keep up there, which is false. He tells you that I think he tells you that there's a giant in the area as well, doesn't he?
He tells you that in the mountains southeast, that a giant has gathered evil creatures.
Yeah. So you know you're going into a dodgy area going into this pass.
He also know the neighborhoods.
Yeah. Just skirt around them. It's where your +1 longsword comes in handy. So basically, yeah, you get a little encounter chart then as you're making your way through this pass. It's sparse. I think it's rolled once every 6 hours. You make a roll on it for the day and for the nighttime.
Yeah, and it doesn't even... I do think like there's two different roles. So you have the lowlands, and then you have the mountain pass. There's two separate roles on it, and I do love the lowlands nighttime rolls. I like the creatures in that one, especially for this level. So you have 1 to 3 eater caps or 2 to 4 harpies.
Cool, yeah.
And at that level, I would have loved to come up against a few harpies.
Harpies are pretty handy. The eater caps now are a bit of a pain in the arse.
But if you never came across them before, like, because you're only going to be level, was it 3 to 6?
3 to 6, yeah. You've gone up a level from the last adventure.
Yeah, so like if you were coming across them at level 3 to 6, like, and you've never come across them before, you get that one nostalgic Jason and the Argonauts coming back to you, like, you know.
Oh, I can't get enough of this. I'm not even like, this isn't even beer. This is just alcoholic juice.
Are you drinking a cocktail?
I think I am. So as you're heading out to this pass anyway, the Sentinel will start to communicate with you telepathically with the group. And it'll tell you what directions kind of take, even though there is kind of one, like, it'll just let you know, like, you know, take the higher path up towards the keep. It knows of an area, you know, it knows of a way in. And all you need to do is just kind of touch it off the door and it'll open. So yeah, one of the powers of the Sentinel is that it can open any of the doors in the keep just by touch. They'll automatically open, which is kind of pretty cool when it comes to searching for secret doors, and you know you needing to get around the place. Like, it's just touch it and it opens.
I think that comes into play later on as well.
It does, yeah. Well, yeah, shortly. So basically, as you take the high road up onto it, you come up to, or is it the low road you come up? Yeah, because you come up to the Undercroft.
Yeah.
That's where, yeah, you're going to make your way into the Undercroft. The Sentinel has pointed you in that direction. So there's a couple of doors on that. There's 2 doors on it. This is kind of just where traders and merchants would pass kind of through the keep and continue on their journey. You know, there's a toll booth in the place as well. So as you make your way in here, it's a large enough room with a couple of alcoves heading off in a couple of different directions. 2 doors, but in the alcoves, in 3 of the alcoves, there are some figures sitting down. And as you look at those, it just seems to be like a suit of armor, 2 suits of armor and wizard's robes. But there's a chance that these things are going to come alive and attack the group. These are kind of like sentinels. Or, you know, these are kind of like a watch. What? I won't say animated armor. They're protectors of the place.
Yeah, they are protectors, yeah. But they are animated objects. is how it describes him in
Yeah.
the book. But like it's like chainmail, shield, and mace, and then you have robe and staff, and like plate mail, shield, and a sword.
Yeah.
So
So you can attack these things anyway. If they come to life, they're going to attack you. But there's a thing that you'll find out in a while that's turning these things on and off. And you yourself with your actions then can keep that going. But when you kill these things anyway, they just turn to dust. I mean, and they're animated objects. They're not too hard to fight. I mean, like the suits of armor are a little bit tough.
yeah, like the plate mail one is the toughest from what I read. That's just because of the AC and the high HP. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, you just set your fire on that. It'd be pretty grand. So after you've dealt with them, if you needed to, you can continue on. So you're moving into a kind of a really strange area next. It's been like transformed by some giant ants. When I read giant ants, I just immediately went back to like sci-fi movies with these 150-foot tall ants kind of things. Like, but they're not. They're like what, 2 or 3 foot? If even. They're like the shitty ants in the Fallout series.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's only a couple kind of in each section, but this room is sectioned off by like paper walls that the ants have made. And as you go through each section, you're going to fight more ants until you get to the end where you'll come to the queen. And she can't do anything at all. She basically just sits there. She chopped the shit out of her. I was expecting a big kind of a fight in here, like the Queen and
Mini boss
Aliens,
level.
like, she's gonna like with the pinchers and fucking come and get you, and it's like, nah, she can't move. It's like,
Nah.
oh, fair enough.
XP.
Yeah, XP for days off this. But you can see that there's like a control thing that she was sitting on, that was turning on and off these creature or the animated objects outside. Like, I don't know how we'd figure it out after beating them, unless they're like still alive and you're playing around with them, But yeah, there's a kind of like a nice little thing there. It's 20% chance that these ants are going to set these things off, or you even poking around that you're going to do that anyway. Like, so yeah, that's actually pretty quickly. The whole section runs pretty quickly. Like, I think the only thing that's going to take some time is as you get up into the keep itself. Like, there't going to be big battles, long drawn out fights. Like, so this scenario is going to introduce you to that. Yeah, but after you've dealt with the Queen anyway, and you pass on into the next room, you come into a painted room. It's kind of like, it would remind you the chateau.
You're getting too fancy for me, man.
I know, yeah.
Drinking cocktails, remembering words. What have you done to my friend?
I know, yeah. He's gone.
Is that pinky up drinking that glass? It is. I can see that pinky moving out.
And the head wobble. It's good juice, man. I might have to have another one. So yeah, so basically, you're going to have to search around this room for a way out. Because you've been told, like, that there's a stairways that's going to lead you up into the place by the Sentinel. So searching around in this place, there's 2 secret doors that you can find. There's one that leads up the stairs, and then there's another one then that leads into another room, which is just a round room with some, shitty grey stone all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Is it good?
Man. I'm happy I held on to that bear. That is
worth it.
So worth it. And because I bought 2 and I remember drinking one. And I said I'd hold on to one. I was a little bit worried about the time, but where I had it stored, it was nice and cool, so I wasn't too worried about too much spoilage.
Yeah.
And the capsules, they're the little, so I'm not showing you, but inside, so it absorbs oxygen.
Yeah.
And it's done its job, because normally they're smooth, but when you rub you can actually see the little bubbles on the top of the cap. So it's done its job. It's kept the beer nice, Probably left it. Maybe I could have probably had it maybe last year, but it might have been a little bit better. But it's really good. I'm so
cool.
happy with where that is. So definitely a big thumbs up from me on that. But
Nice one.
I do need to say, I did say I was only going to have one beer.
But 2 glasses
And
of the one same beer. Is that what you're saying?
oh no, I said I was only going to have the one beer, but I couldn't drink a 8.5% ale without
A whiskey. Get off this show, Jay. You're fired. That's it. We're
sorry.
done.
But it is
This is a craft beer. This isn't a whiskey show. You're getting too highfalutin for me now. You'll be smoking fucking cigars next. Or the pipe.
just so happens it was sun. No, never go on a pipe, not again. But it is an 18-year-old Glenfiddich, so it is nice.
Jay, I don't care. You might as well be drinking water from the toilet.
The souls of my ancestors weep for your ignorance.
Good, good. I'm going to drink their tears. I'm going to wash down the taste of that sewer water. With their tears.
You're so mean.
I know,
so
know.
mean. Just because you don't like whiskey, man. So.
Nah, I'm not a whiskey fan at all. I like me juice.
You know what I'm going to get you for Christmas? Next year, I'm not going to get you a box of Teo like I did this year.
What'd you get me?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you a little sippy cup. The baby cups with the 2 handles.
Oh, man.
You can have your beer in that. Like, that's the plan for next year
Awesome,
for your
awesome.
birthday.
I'll
Or
sit
your
down at the
Christmas.
pub now with that. Pour my beer into it.
Little sippy cup. Get your juice.
8% juice. Here we go.
Anyway, I digress.
Okay. Right, let's get back into this killing bad guys. So, having a look around that room with the swirly stuff on the ground and the grey walls, you're like, there's nothing in here. You might check it out, but there's fuck all in there. And if you spent a little bit more time searching around that other place, or maybe, you know, your group spread out, there's a possibility that you might have found a small little secret compartment in a part of the painting that looks like a pillar. And opening up that will reveal a small little chest. Now that chest comes into play later on in the adventure, but if you have a wizard in the group, which you should, because it would be stupid not to, he or she has a 10% chance per level to be able to identify what this chest is, which would be a Lehman's secret chest. So you would continue on up the stairs then, basically, send a fighter up first, and check out this, which spirals on up. And the adventure states then that you're going to come out in room 13, or that's basically the next level that you're going to stop off on. The stairs continues on up, so you can go on further up into the keep if you want to. But coming out on this level, on floor 2, room 13, you would enter into a room full of sleeping gnolls who have drank way too much. They were probably on a whiskey, Jay.
Nope. What happened was they were trying to do another Drunken Dungeon podcast and they just couldn't handle their beer.
That's it. Yeah, lightweights.
Mm.
All 10
And they
of them.
probably had whiskey.
Probably had a lot of whiskey. You run the risk of these guys kind of waking up as you're sneaking through the room. I think they have a 10% chance per round. But look, to be honest, are you leaving these gnolls asleep in this room?
When you say asleep...
I mean, like, gargling in their own blood. Asleep.
Yeah, damn right. More free XP for me. Like, if you were a thief...
Oh, I'm stabbing everything. I'm stabbing everything
going around,
today.
everybody else get out of the room, your thief sneaks in and just... That's it, one at a time, nice and quietly.
Everything in the room. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. To be honest, I'd just call in everybody and just go crazy. Just
no, man, I'd let the thief have fun here. Yeah, I'd let the thief have fun on this one. Because they don't really get like a whole lot of fun during like the big battles and everything else, like unless they're played really cool. So
yeah, unless you're getting into
like
backstab people, like
yeah. So I definitely let the thief go crazy here, like let him have his fun for the night.
Yeah, because that's probably all. Because some of the other encounters are way too overpowering for a thief to deal with. So the next room then, there's another bunch of gnolls in this place. But then there's also a device in here that controls like tar that drips down into a room below you. A death room, a death trap. You know, which you have to kind of find your way back down into. You can't get to it unless you pass through this room. Like that trap is pretty lethal. It does 2d12 points of damage for 5 rounds. And the tar is always kept going. You know, it's always been lit up. And there's enough, I think, in it for six uses. So there's plenty there. And if you haven't fucked this up, then this will come into play later on in the adventure, which is kind of pretty cool. So yeah, as you make your kind of way through this place, you know, you come across like the gate room. There's a couple of more gnolls in there. Take care of those. Into the stables, find some mutilated horses. And then after that, I suppose then look, it's back up that stairs again, because this is kind of, there's nothing really on this level or anywhere you can go. You can take a look out through the, you can take look out through the slots in the wall. But basically you need to go up further into it. So you got a good bit of killing under your belt, kind of easy kills down here compared to what's coming up. So you make your way then up onto the 3rd floor. So up in this place then, as you make your way into the kitchen, there is sitting on a nice little seat, female gnoll, and I think she's got a bunch of hyenas, doesn't she?
Yes.
She's just sitting there waiting for you. I suppose you just go in there and mash the shit out of her.
With your sword, Ian. With your sword.
Oh, you're a potato masher, which you got out of the kitchen. I don't know if there was any treasure in there. It's probably
the one thing I would like to add just before we jump past that room and the previous room and the when you search, the one thing that astounded me was the amount of arrows they give you in this game.
Oh yeah, as you make your way through, there's arrows everywhere.
My God, like in one room there's like just a quick count on it. There's 200, 450, 500, 630 arrows, 730, 920 arrows in one room.
It's good
like,
going, no?
I mean, like, I remember seeing an old Dungeons and Dragons movie where the elf was just firing arrows like.
Yeah,
that's what you need in the group. To
remember,
get rid of this, like.
you can fire 2 arrows around. Remember that?
Yeah.
So firing arrows is better than attacking with a sword.
Like I don't mean to be bad, but like to get through that many arrows, there's not enough creatures in this game to get through that many arrows in that one room. Like, but yeah, the emphasis is on that one room. Like, I don't know who came up with what was in these boxes and the arrows, but I think further on down through it again, there's another room that's just like.
Oh yeah, every
arrows.
room that you're coming into as you're going on up, there's just piles and piles of arrows.
Yeah.
I don't know what they go for, but you'd make a few silver pieces collecting them.
Oh yeah, but could you imagine the weight of them?
Oh yeah, I mean, like you're talking about barrels full of arrows.
Yeah.
Like barrels full of arrows. Like have you ever seen that many arrows? I've been in an archery store and I've seen buckets and buckets of arrows. Like they're.
But that's not even touching what's in this like one room alone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like you walk into other armories and they have swords and shields and armor. Here's an arrow.
Yeah.
Here's another arrow. Here's another arrow.
There's 2 more. Oh, watch yourself! Don't fall over those arrows.
Yeah, don't fall over them. Yeah. See, they should have put something in here where they just pick you up and throw you into the arrows. See how many stick in you.
Yeah, put some rule in, you know, where you could fall on one and roll down the stairs or something.
But yeah, sorry. But yeah, I was just fascinated with the amount of arrows in this was absolutely shocking.
Like if you ask your players how many arrows they have left, I think someone's going to bust the dice off you.
Yeah. But look, we've all been there where the DM goes, "Did you not use all your arrows last round?" "No, I just walked into a room with 900 and something. I refilled."
Yeah, Jesus, like I've arrows hanging
for the last 4
everywhere.
adventures. But yeah, I was just amazed at the amount of arrows in this, and I wouldn't mind. But it's not like the room is full of anything else. Like lumps of resin and tools for repair and maintenance of bows, 20 bowstrings, 10 longbows.
Oh yeah,
and like that's it. The rest is arrows, man. It's just arrows.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's a keep as well, you know.
Yeah, I know, but come on, that many arrows.
Sure. Look, who wants to go to the shop and buy more arrows?
Well, after this adventure, if you had a bag of holding, nobody, you know.
True.
How many arrows do you have left? 899.
Ah, jeez, I hope you're marking them off your sheet. All right, so as you continue on anyway, with your bags and bags of arrows from Lidl. All right, your IKEA arrows.
Aldi.
You bump into a bunch of captive men-at-arms that are tied up in this place. You can hear them kind of asking for help, calling for help. These guys will be able to like tell you about the keep, tell you what's after going, what's after going down. You know, they'll give you the lowdown on the place, like. So you can get a good bit of information about these places, and these guys will help you out as long as they don't think you're kind of using them for cannon fodder. You know that you're going to take the same kind of risks as these guys are. And I've seen people run, you know, now I wouldn't give these to first time players because they're just going to throw them into battle and get them killed. Like, I think the DM should run them themselves. Like, I've had a game in session a while ago where I gave the players some soldiers to use, and they basically just went, I don't give a fuck if this guy dies at all. And they just chuck him into battle. You know, it's like, yeah, he's gone. You know, to some people, they're just like counters, you know. It doesn't bother them at all.
Yeah. And you know what? It's like, for me, sometimes it's, I'm guilty of it myself, like, but sometimes it's nice to have the role play factor of actually having these guys come out or get away, and you never know when you might need them down the line as well, like, you know. And for informational purposes, like for me in this story, it's informational purposes, except for maybe one of them who's probably a little bit better than the rest of them. You'd want to keep around, like, sort of, for the level you're at for some of them. But yeah,
yeah, I think these guys break up all the fighting as well that you've been going through
Yeah.
here. There's a bit of role playing in here, like you can sit down, take a bit of a breath, like. And like these guys can tell you where you can get some more better equipment. They can tell you the layout of the place, what everything is used for, you know, kind of what happened, what they've heard going on in the place, like. So it's like it's an information dump here now at this stage with these guys, which is kind of good because you're in the midpoint of the adventure at this stage, or in the midpoint of the dungeon, we'll say, at this stage.
Yeah.
So continuing then on with these guys, you will basically make your way up onto level 4. Unless I've missed anything. There's probably just more arrows all over this place. I don't think there's even any really good treasure or anything there, is there?
No, I haven't. Well, there was one good treasure back where the Ant Queen was.
Ah, yeah, shit, I forgot
There's
about
a
that.
couple of bodies,
Rushing
and
through
I
it.
think this is a fucking cracking item. I
Mm.
really do, because it's a bracelet that acts as the gauntlets of swimming and
Gloves of swimming and climbing.
the gauntlets of, but they actually have it down in the book. Yeah, here we go. Gauntlets of swimming and climbing.
Ah, okay.
But it's a bracelet that acts like that.
Yeah, I think it only does the swimming though. It doesn't do the climbing part, and that's on
The swimming. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the swimming.
It's on a gremlin with a J.
Yeah.
A gemlin.
Gemlin. It's on a gemlin. But I think it's absolutely cool because it's a bracelet.
Yeah,
and
it's a nice idea.
It's a nice, great little idea that we don't see enough of in a lot of games, when it's just rings and
I think
headbands and things.
Yeah, that's just kind of picked that there as you were saying it. Like, you know, like people would think you can only wear magical items in your magical items. I'm going to do quotations here. Slots. You know, your head, your arms, your feet, a cloak. Like, you can get magic items to go anywhere. There's no set thing, you know. Obviously, you can't wear 2 sets of gloves. Well, maybe.
How many arms do you have? Did you have a wish spell to give you more than fucking?
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's magical items that make their own slots, and I think this bracelet is definitely one.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mean, I'm sure people are going to say like, "Oh, you have bracers."
Yeah,
whatever.
That's okay. Yeah. That's fine. You know, but it doesn't take up a ring slot. It doesn't take up a glove slot.
Exactly.
I mean, and another way around it, like I often found in an awful lot of the old 2nd edition games, was the earrings as a magic item. They're not mentioned in the books, but that's another great slot that doesn't affect your helmet wearing either. Like,
exactly. Yeah, it's a nice little cool thing to have there. Like, that kind of adds up onto it. Yeah. Floor number 4. This is where it starts to get a bit risky, because as you come up into this place, there's a woeful stench of ogre up here. And you're met by an ogre. You know, big surprise. At the level you're at, I'm always kind of weary, especially with new players, that when they come up against ogres, because they can just wipe a character out. Like, you know, there's a chance here that someone's going to get squished. depending on the level. If it's a bunch of third level characters, like I said, someone's dying coming up in here.
Oh yeah,
Like,
big time.
you know, if they're fourth, maybe if they're fifth and sixth, they're okay. But definitely, if a third level character comes up that stairs, they're getting mushed. I can see one getting put through a slot in the wall.
But I would like to just a little footnote just prior to meeting the ogre. You do go into a guardhouse, and there is another total of 305 arrows sitting there for you.
Oh my god! So what's the arrow total now? 305 and 900 and something.
305 and 920.
Yeah, add that together now. My brain just shorted out.
1,225. I think.
Wow.
Oh, we're not finished. There is more.
Jesus, how big is your backpack?
I don't know, but the fire is struggling to get up the stairs at this stage.
Fire's
So
the
you
last
never
one
know when you might need them.
Yeah.
And then you walk into a room with an ogre with the fire with a bag full of arrows, the last one on the step, like, fucked.
Push back
Wizard
down the stairs.
Dead.
Yeah, wizard dead. Fighter at the end of the stairs, impaled in 200 some arrows. The payoff after beating this ogre, or getting beaten by this ogre, this so happens to be the armory. So the guys that you freed could have told you about this place. They could also tell you that the ogre is up here. I'm sure that there's an ogre in the place. I'm sure like they're here a while. They know, or they might have an idea that there's an ogre around here. So your characters might be prepared for it. But you're going to get some nice weapons up here. Not magical.
We are.
Not magical, but you know, you have a bit more of a selection of weapons here, and some plate mail. If the fighter doesn't have plate mail already, like.
And not to mention that there's another 180, 210, and 175 arrows. Just saying.
Okay, so your druid is carrying those.
Oh, we're not finished with the arrows just yet.
So then,
but yeah,
I don't know.
I think getting the getting the suits of armor in here. There is 2 suits of plate mail, and at this level, like you know, like between 3rd and 6th, it's fucking solid armor to have.
Oh yeah, it's nice armor to have. Like,
what's it, AC2?
Oh,
plate mail.
Plate, yeah.
Plate mail and shield.
Yeah, full plate is 1 and field plate 0. 1. No.
Yeah.
I can't even remember, to be honest. I'd have to.
No, I think
I know when you have a shield, a full plate and the shield is 0.
Yeah, I think plate mail is 2. I think it is.
Yeah, it could be.
Give me a second, because I know there is a creature up here with plate mail and shield is AC2.
So right,
which be AC3.
Okay,
yeah,
so that's pretty good. Like,
that's a solid AC at this level. Like,
yeah,
solid AC. Like.
Yeah, no, it's good. I was just looking at that going, yeah, this is a nice kind of play. Look, you're in a fucking keep as well, so there should be some armor, some nice armor in here somewhere. Some pretty good armor. There's not really much more up in this place, is there, other than heading into the last room?
No, not in this room. But the one thing that is here is, like, you know, you still have, like, there's loads of maintenance stuff again for the bows and the weapons and armor, including oil and shit like that. Like, I'm a big fan of oil in 2nd edition. I really am.
Yes, you do need it, especially for the trolls.
Yeah.
The trolls. The internet trolls. Burn them all. So you make your way into the final showdown. What's the name of this room?
The lieutenant's room.
Yeah, not in the lieutenant's room. Northwest turret. There's more hours in there. There's another 220 hours in that place.
Yeah. And then you have the
Castellan's room. What's a Castellan?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm just presuming it's the guy who runs the whole entire place.
It's the ogre then, isn't it? Yeah.
So this is the main bad guy, who you've probably heard some rumors about from the knoll back in the village, that there's an Ogrelin. It is Ogrelin in this place. And he's been gathering forces, becoming an evil warlord. But as you enter this room, this guy's kind of looking at you. He's got the gauntlet on his hand. He's the sole occupant in the room. And this guy basically claps his hands together and there's glittery dust busts all over the place and he mumbles some magical words and he goes translucent and then he disappears. And at that point then the Sentinel starts to talk to you again with telepathy. Basically saying, kind of what sort of trickery is this? Is the Gauntlet so afraid of him, that I dare not face him? And basically we got to find this guy and take care of him. We got to kill this Gauntlet. So you could really start to play that the Sentinel wants this thing dead, You could be touching on making the Sentinel maybe feeling a bit evil, in its pursuit of this evil artifact.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea
it's
with it.
ego.
Yeah. Basically, take over the character.
Yeah.
And go crazy with him. So yeah, you get to kind of have a quick look around this room then before what I would call the best kind of part of it, where things go to shit. Where you can hear rocks thumping off the wall, and as you look out, you can see there's a giant on the far side of the valley, and he's chucking rocks at you. Basically, he starts screaming abuse at you. So yeah, this huge fire giant has a bunch of flying creatures with him, and then further on down the pass there's a bunch of troops. This guy has come to get his daughter back, who the Ogrelon kidnapped. So yeah, this guy is like, Ogrelon, evil warlord motherfucker, give me my daughter back, or I'm gonna come in there and fucking break your face open.
But it does say, with all that aggression and everything else, there is an important note, right? Just on the end of the adventure, it says, the DM is advised not to look on the giant's attack as a means of massacring the party, but as an exciting prelude to a party and the rest of the adventure.
No way. I never read that. I would have.
Yeah.
I did actually read it, yeah.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You were just like, I'm going to kill the adventurers with rocks.
I'm going to fucking fuck that keep up, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to smash the third level characters to bits with a fire giant.
But I think that's ultimately important that people read that part. Like, I do.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have certain people just fire giant attack, rock in the face, you're dead. Wizard once again. We always pick on the wizard. So
yeah, wizard needs to get hit first with a rock. Yeah. Then the bard.
Spellcasters.
Actually, no, bard goes first.
Bard first.
And then it would go in order: wizard, druid, cleric, thief, ranger, fire. I think that's the list I'd do.
But yeah, I just thought it was funny that they actually had to throw that in. Like, there's DMs out there who go, oh no, you're up against a fire giant, you're going to die.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, the next couple of pages have a nice, clear plan of action that this fire giant is gonna take, and I think is like really well done. It's nicely, simply laid out, easy to understand, and if you carried it through, you could actually overrun the keep and take out all the fucking players. Like,
so easily. Like I think like it's going to be a case is like there is a number of losses which the infantry will tolerate before withdrawing.
Yeah.
So there is a percentage of people that needs to be bashed.
Yeah, it's like 15. So he's got like 5 platoons of 30 goblins.
Yeah.
Leaders. Each one of those has a leader. Then he's got a bunch of hellhounds with him. He's got some screaming devils with him. He's got 2 manticores with him, which I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The retinue of goblins have fucking a battering ram, which they're going to attack the front door. It's like, yeah.
But I think it's brilliant the way, as you said, the platoons are broken down. So you have like the fire giant, and then you have like the hobgoblin sub chief, and then you have the hobgoblins, the manticores,
it's hobgoblins.
screaming
devils, goblins for some reason,
and then they're broken down into other sections where like you have different platoons, but each platoon has a sergeant. And then you have a designated battering ram, like, and the battle plan is so detailed. Like,
And there's a nice
well,
little
it's not really detailed, but it's nice.
yeah,
It's
it's
nicely
laid
laid out,
nice.
easy to
Yeah,
follow.
yeah. And they have the little tick box as well, so you can just tick the guys that are dead. Oh, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You know. So basically, you and these few guys that you've saved, if they're still alive, now have to fend off an attack by the fire giant. Well, actually,
Which,
yeah.
you know,
Sorry,
I would say is going to be a lot easier now that you have 1,525 arrows in your back pocket.
totally true. Totally true. But I just remembered. I just stepped ahead of myself. The fire giant doesn't actually say anything to you about his daughter until you've stopped his attack. So you need to stop that first before he actually says something. I got a bit ahead of myself there. So basically, he's going to send over a bunch of screaming devils, which will climb in through the windows, you know, and just like scream. And I think they've got like this ability, you know, to make you run away in terror or something like that. I can't actually fully remember. These creatures are, you know, with that ability, if you're going to run around the place screaming, you're going to have to take these things out, like, or your group's going to be running around the place. I can just see him in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Everyone's gone yellow, and then all of a sudden you've TPK'd the group, like, they've ran off into a corner and just all been hacked to death. At the same time as these guys are coming over, there's going to be a retinue of hobgoblins attacking the front gate with the battering ram. Okay? The fire giant is going to be throwing rocks. So it's going to be a distraction, him throwing the rocks and these things climbing through the windows. The guy's battering ram, I think it's like 8 rounds or something. It's going to take him to get through.
Yeah.
While they're doing that, there is another bunch climbing up the side of the keep. And 2 manticores and 2 more hobgoblins are lowering ropes to help these guys climb up the side. So you're going to have to take out a lot. So your group is going to probably have to split to take care of these. You know, and how do you deal with it? Like, do you wait a few rounds before the goblins get... I mean, like, the flying guys are going to be quicker anyway, okay?
Yeah.
So they're going to get over quick, so they're going to come through the window, so you're going to have to deal with them.
And I think this is where keeping the bios who are captive comes into it, rather than use them as cannon fodder. If you were to split your group, you could split them as well. So it's everybody's going to get a few extra rolls on it, like.
Exactly.
And it is going to be worked out on a percentage of how many of the attacking force
is
that
killed.
you null down, like.
Yeah.
You know, and as you said, there is things that are going to come into play from the previous rooms.
Yeah, if you can remember that, there's
like the death trap room and things like that. Like,
exactly, yeah.
You know, so like, I do think it's worthwhile keeping these bios alive. Normally in an adventure, as I said, I don't be too mindful of people like that.
Yeah,
you know,
but in this now, I would
like this.
Like, okay, so this is an opportunity then for kind of like the players to learn some tactics as well. Like,
yeah.
You know, you can use these guards in the place to inform the players that, hey, we should go to this place. Hey, we should go here. You know, this is how we should deal with these attacks. Like, if that's if you're having a group that doesn't know what they're up to.
Yeah, if I was playing this game, I probably wouldn't have. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have gone that way at all. Like, you know, being honest with you, like. I think I would have been like dead about now. Open the fucking door, let me out.
Yeah, open up that. Just I'd stand in front of the gate with 2 swords. Come on,
I got plate mail. Come on, you cunts. Come on, let's go. You know,
I got a
plate mail on me.
+2, and there's actually a longsword in this room +2, and a book.
But you wouldn't have.
We'll get to that.
We get to that in a second. I wouldn't have had that yet. I would just have it a normal longswords, just going. Come on, let's be having you.
Dagger.
I've just got shiny new plate mail. You know.
Oh yeah.
I'm indestructible.
Here it takes 10 minutes to put plate mail on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think you'd have that on either.
No, it'd be all good. I'll take care of it. Like, I'd be running down the street with piecemeal on me with a sword in my hand. It's okay.
1 foot on. hopping
Yeah,
down the
yeah, thinking
stairs.
of brilliant. Like I bet up a mammy ant sitting on a nest. Like, what more could I need in life?
But
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's a case where if experienced players were playing this, they might have got to the end. Where if it's a new group of adventurers, they probably would have got the information and told them, fuck off, don't want to share XP.
yeah, I would still give out the XP for if you use these guys. I mean, that's
I'd still go full XP. Yeah.
yeah, that's the experience. I mean, you're learning how to you're learning how to direct other people in battle.
And in fairness, it's one of the few scenarios you come across where you actually have additional help in a battle of this scale or a battle of this scale at this level.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it kind of says in it, firing from the arrow slits and that, it gives you a -10 armor class. So, Jay, you'd be -8 if you had that plate mail on. Imagine that.
No, you'd be more.
No, you wouldn't. No,
It gives you a -10.
No, it's AC2 and a -10.
AC2 with a shield, but you're using a bow.
Yeah, so it's AC4 then, and then -10.
AC3.
Shield one depends on the shield.
I thought
I
the shield was +1. Yeah, I thought the shield was only +1.
+2, no. Depends on the book you're looking at. Anyway, yeah, you're gonna be like -8, -6. If you're just standing there with a shield up looking out, you're -8. But I would imagine this is why all these arrows are dotted about, and you can always say there's 200 arrows right over there.
Yeah, all shields improve your armor class by 1. I think the only shield that differs is a tower shield. I think that gives you extra bonuses against.
Yeah, it gives you 2 on it. Okay, yeah, so it's just a +1. All right, I'm getting mixed up then, obviously, with 3rd and 4th edition. Yeah, but I mean, like, there's going to be, as you're saying, like, there's arrows all over the place. So you're going to be stuck in these little arrow slits, like, I can't even remember the name of them. Shooting out tons of arrows down the top of these guys. You have the gatehouse, which you can fire down from. So, I mean, if you get 3 guys, 4 guys up on top of that, you're going to take out those guys. I mean, if you get there quickly, it's 8 rounds, So 8 rounds shooting, possibility you're going to take out 15 guys, like.
Easily.
But it does say then afterwards, if you fail that, you're kind of pretty much fucked. Like, if these guys get through that gateway, they're coming in. And if the fire giant sees them going in, he's going to send more guys in after him. So, even though it says kind of take it easy, you need to do that. I mean, you can have pretty much all your guys up in the front gate. You only need maybe 2 people to operate the mechanism for the debt room,
Yeah.
And that's going to wipe out.
And that's if you think about, like,
yeah.
If you don't think about your like, it is a percentage game, like, so you do want, like, to take out as many as you can.
Yeah.
As quick as you can.
Yeah. But I mean, one of the guards there is going to say to you, hey, they're climbing up. We need to get to the fucking debt, operate the debt room stuff. Like, twist the levers. Like, yeah. Unless you want to kill your group, then don't say anything. But let's say you have successfully averted the attack, driven these guys back. They're going to run off after 15 and each group die. Half the forces, basically. Which is pretty much doable. So this is when this fire giant is going to shout over to you about his missing daughter. Now, and he gives you some bits of information to where his missing daughter might be. He refers to a sorceress prison, which might have you thinking. We haven't come across any prison here. Only where the guys were tied up. But these guys will be able to tell you that they've heard rumours that there's a magical prison in this place. Now, where it is, they have no idea. Or how to operate it, they have no idea. But if you have read the book that's in the in the room that the Ogrelon disappeared in, you're going to get some information on that. So it's basically going to tell you that there's a bunch of black and white gems. When used, they will send somebody to the prison or release someone from the prison. There's a little list on some things that might be in there. Yeah, so it's going to tell you how the prison works for a start. How to get people in and out of it. Now, if you have found that room down on the bottom, that other secret room with the black and white swirly things, you'll know from reading this then that that's the prison. As you read on further, you will see it noted that some of the white pearls were placed in safekeeping in a secret compartment in a pillar in a painted room. Obviously you came in that way, so you know where the painted room is, and if you've come across the pillar and found the little chest in there, and your mage has recognized what it is, then you'll be like, oh my god, we need to get into that's where the pearls are. And then scrawled in the back of the book is the password.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can piece that together. You're not missing any of the clues or any of the parts.
It's at this point I'd like to point out that in modern times it is rather forgetful and like horrendously unsafe to write down your passwords for anything. Use passkeys, not passwords.
Yes, JT. Totally agree with you, 100%. I'm going to have to throw my password book out the window now.
I knew you had one. I keep mine under the phone. Under different names. Don't rob my phone. It has my life.
Yeah, like... Anyway, these guys are... Yeah, look, the chances of you actually putting this together are very slim.
Yeah.
You have 2 hours to do it. 2 hours in-game to kind of do this. It's doable. I mean, it's all there.
It is. But, like, I mean, like, in fairness, like, there's only, like...
That's if you read the book.
Yeah, like, there's only one creature you don't want to get out of this prison, like... You know, everything else is manageable or you want it. But then there's a creature there that you just don't want to let out.
Yeah.
You know, just one. I'm not going to spoil it.
No, let's go through cell 1 anyway. And we'll stop at the last cell and we'll just leave it at that. And we can let people who want to play it and figure out what's happening.
So cell 1 is the Orglin. That's the one you want.
Yeah.
That's the big baddie. That's what you want to knock off. Like, you know,
this is the guy that you see go psh. But he ain't wearing the glove when he comes out. And he's fucking crazy as fuck. So the first thing he does is just go for whoever's there.
Yeah.
I don't think you slap this guy upside the head with a stick. Knock him out. No, just kill him. I mean, he's an evil creature. You know, just get rid of him.
He's just going to fall so quick. It's going to be shocking.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
like,
it's going to be kind of...
Like the wizard could hit him with his staff and come out thinking he's the fighter at this stage. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm the boss. You know?
Boss man. Second creature is a Volt. I had to look this up now because I don't ever remember finding one. I was thinking it was like this little weasel, you know, but then I remember, no, they're Voles. Like, that's a different thing altogether. Yeah. These are like little blood-sucking electrical creatures that fly around the place. I think they've changed. There's like a few different versions of them over the editions. And the third one is the fire giant, female fire giant, the daughter. I think it's pretty much over at that. You know, if you do it in order, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And I think that's the way, like, your preferred way of doing it, to be honest with you, because I don't want to, I don't want to say anything about that.
I don't want to say anything about the fourth one, but I do want to say one thing. I read this and it does not tell you until you read the end bit of what's in each cell, how many fucking cells are in it. So I would put it in there when you're reading about the cells. I know there's like some crossed off stuff. There's actually mention of some crossed off things, but it still doesn't tell you how many prisoners are in the cells. You know, how many cells there actually is, like.
Yeah.
You know?
You could so use that.
Just say there's only 4 cells there. You know?
Or you could fucking make them work for it and just have random stuff like a goblin jumping out with a dagger or anything like that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like
I mean,
a
like,
fucking
you know,
bingo.
Yeah.
Prison
like,
bingo.
Just pure random, like, you know, like literally as random as you want, like, you know.
Well, the thing is, the mad thing is, in the book and the inside cover of it, there's 36 little pockets for these gems to go into. So yeah, why not have a game of bingo?
Yeah.
You know?
Literally roll up a ton of low-level creatures, like, nothing too mad, like, you know.
I put in some...
Yeah, 1 or 2 bad ones, but, like, come on. You
like,
don't
stick a Yeti in there, you know?
Yeah, something really odd, like, yeah. And don't forget the old, you know, gelatinous cubes, like, there's so many variants of them you can throw in, like, you know, like, literally just throw in some fun creatures as well, like.
Yeah.
You know, a little
like,
pixie or something like that. Like, you know, or a little will-o-wisp, just pop it out. Like,
yeah,
that's the
it's
end of
like,
it.
what?
And then, you know, the worst thing about it is, like, you see a will-o-wisp or a pixie, you're going to stand there and scratch your head and go, why are they in prison?
Yeah, exactly. And eventually you might get there. But look, the gauntlet is going to, or the Sentinel is going to push it till it gets the gauntlet.
Yeah.
It's going to keep saying, do it, do it, do it. This thing's just going to bully you into doing what it wants to do. Like, yeah, but as you're saying, like, yeah, you can have a nice game of Monster Bingo here, which I think would be pretty fucking cool. Just stick in some extra pearls, like.
Yeah.
You could almost do this like a deck of many things. But yeah, anyway, look, the last thing should be what's on this, what's in cell number 4. Yeah, because it's great. So yeah, well, I'll leave it at that. I don't mind doing some spoilers, but there's just certain things I don't want to spoil. Like,
No, not this.
I think
That is also possible.
if those guards are in the room with you, they definitely need a morale check. Yeah, so hey, that's it. That's the end of it. There's a couple of bits that you can tidy up yourself by reading the adventure. You can get it on DriveThruRPG. I'm not too sure if it's gone up or not. We'll put a link in the description anyway, an affiliate link, so you can have a look at that if you want to. Jay, you said there's copies going around still that are in fairly good condition for reasonable prices.
But yeah, no, you can't get them, and they're reasonably priced, especially for these the Gauntlet and the Sentinel.
Yeah,
I found them reasonably priced compared to other scenarios I bought. To be honest with you,
yeah,
if you have the money, if not, as I said, like, you know, the PDF copy is just as good at this stage because most of us are playing on laptops and tablets and phones these days. So why not?
exactly.
Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, and you have the maps. There's some nice maps. Same thing that was with the UK2. You got some nice looking maps there. Everything on them. You got some ready-made characters there. A couple of magical items listed for 'em, hit points, the whole shebang. You're basically ready to go with this thing. Do you know? You could run an adventure pretty quick. It's nice and easy to understand everything that's in this. I don't think there was one part where I was like, what? The only thing is like the cells at the end. Just make it clear. You can read over. I mean, you're going to read over it, so take your own notes on it anyway.
yeah.
Jay, bit of news on the old D&D front. Did you hear
Mm-hmm.
that Tencent are looking to buy Dungeons and Dragons from Hasbro? Now, there's a few different things. People are saying they're looking for the electronic rights to make computer games. Now, Larian Studio has those. Tencent owns 30% of Larian Studios, and people are saying that Larian are doing like the negotiating, kind of the middleman in between sort of stuff in between it. I see a lot of people in some of the old AD&D, TSR, OSR groups kind of giving out about the commies are taking over Dungeons and Dragons. They can't be worse than Hasbro. That's all I can say. If Tencent take over it and it becomes a better product, fair fucks.
Look, I mean, it wasn't
Can't
too
get.
long ago we were all sitting here thinking like the open player stuff was going to be absolutely shaboogled,
Yeah.
you know. So I knew an awful lot of people involved in that. Well, not an awful lot, but I knew a few people who were into it, like especially the open source with the 5th edition. So I think they shot themselves in the foot, to be honest with you, with an awful lot of people. I know you're going to
Yeah.
have a couple of dieharders, and I'm a pure dieharder when it comes to second, but not
Fifth, yeah.
anything after that. Like,
Same
you know,
here.
to
I
be
don't really
honest.
care what happens with it. I have second edition to play. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, I'll always drop back to it. It's
Yeah.
just me. I think I'll always drop back to it because even though I played first edition, second edition was my favorite one. I played it so much.
And there's
And
plenty of nice companies out there still putting out stuff for second edition.
yeah,
Goodman Games bring out some stuff, and there's other compatible stuff as well. You
so
know?
I wouldn't see it as a big bad thing, to be honest
No,
with you. Like,
I mean, look,
there's always going to be second edition. Like,
to be honest, if it's just the digital stuff, fair play to them. They can keep pumping out Dungeons and Dragons computer games. If they're good, I'm going to play them. I don't think I'm going to buy any more of the books anymore, to be quite honest with you.
Speaking of which, have you finished Baldur's Gate 3?
Oh yeah, ages ago.
Yeah. Well, you see, I got stuck in a part. Very interesting part. Where I went down to a certain place, and Gale was in my party because he's the only wizard I have.
Okay.
And it was either like, no, don't kill yourself, Gale, or kill yourself, Gale. Kill yourself and the game ends. Don't kill yourself. And the game is just fucked up afterwards. Yeah, man, I had to literally reload. And you know, the one thing I would say for anybody who hasn't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but is thinking about playing it, save every fucking 30 seconds.
Oh,
Because
you're
my
a
god,
save
I had to
scummer.
reload an 8-hour-old game.
Oh my god. At the
Yep.
minute I'm playing Icewind Dale 2 Enhanced Edition. So I got Icewind Dale 2 and then I downloaded the mod from Beamdog. That's grand. It's not as good as the other ones. It's basically just go in and hack up what's in the room, and each room it gets slightly harder. There's no thinking about it. The story isn't that
Very
great
good.
either. Yeah. Icewind Dale 1 is 100 times better. But yeah. Anyway, hey, let's leave it at that. So
Yeah.
next one we are thinking of doing. Yeah, next one we're doing White Plume Mountain. Jay, you owned a copy of this. I'm gonna get my hands on the PDF. Probably a copy of it as well because I really like the adventure. It's absolutely brilliant. Nice funhouse adventure. And we actually might take us a bit longer to do that because I want to kind of focus on each room and the craziness in each room. Kind of break down everything that can happen in it and what you might do running the game. Alright guys, look, we'll leave it at that. Drop us a line and whatever. All the links to stuff will be on this. We're on Twitter. We're not on Instagram. I haven't set that up. We're not on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're not on Apple Podcasts because I can't sort that out. So if anyone knows how to do that, please get in contact with me. Or do it for me. Please.
Do it for me, please.
I'll buy
Please.
you a +1 longsword.
You know, some dude is going to send in with the current cost of gold at the moment, given that a +1 longsword sells for 800 GP, and the current price of gold, you owe me like 10,000.
What?
Don't do that. Don't say that.
Yeah, maybe I'll post your standing knife. How about that?
But it's a magical +1 standing knife that only works in the dark against space.
Yes. Space cutting standing knife.
Yeah.
Alright guys. Hey, thanks for listening to us. And catch you next time.
Yeah. Be good and be safe, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.